Hello and welcome. You're watching News Central Television. I am Judith at TB. It's time for News Central now, and here are the top stories at this hour. We'll start with politics as Labour Party faction dismisses threats to expel the party's presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Peter Obi. And off to Plateau, where ambush by gunmen in the Plateau State reportedly leaves scores of vigilantes killed in Kanam local government area. And 17 counties on edge as anti-government protests leave 11 dead and 567 arrested in Kenya. Details shortly. We'll begin in the Middle Belt, Plateau State, where scores of vigilante group members have reportedly been killed following an ambush by gunmen in the Buyon community of Kanam local government area, Plateau State. The incident reportedly occurred on Monday at about 2 p.m. Aliyu Bafa, chairman of the vigilante group in Kukawa, said the massacre occurred just a kilometer away from the main Kukawa town when bandits ambushed the vigilantes as they were heading to the hideout in the government reserve forest, popularly known as Madam Forest. The chairman said he, however, discovered that the gunshots were from vigilantes who had come from Dugon, Rua, Safiyo to fight bandits in their hideouts. Earlier on the news, News Central's Chizoba Anyo will give us an update on the matter. We'll bring you that update in our subsequent bulletin. In the meantime, Katsina State Governor Diko Rada says about 90% of bandits terrorizing the state are neither strangers nor outsiders. Speaking on Tuesday, Rada said insecurity remains a major obstacle to meaningful development in Katsina State. He said while governors serve as security chiefs in their states, the army and police operate independently. The governor said to bolster security efforts, the state created a local outfit composed of youths drawn from areas affected by banditry. And now to discuss this in detail, Darlington Umoro, a security expert, joins me live from Lagos. Mr. Umoro, many thanks for joining us. We appreciate you for coming on. Now, let's just go into details, right? If the bandits live among the people, should it not be easier to have them arrested and tried?
Well, it's unfortunate. It's been the situation. You recall at a point in time that the bandits, well, I don't want to call them bandits. These terrorists actually took over a school, and used that school as their camp. And, unfortunately, they were unleashing their acts of terrorism, moving from that school they had taken over at a point in time. Now, the bandits, sometimes, when they live amongst the people, particularly at the suburbs, the problem is fear. The people, are they giving out information early enough to security agents to be able to carry out an attack on these persons? The answer is no. You recall the situation that took place in Kebbi at a point in time when you have the Lukarawa group who was living in their midst. They even empowered this Lukarawa group at a point in time to help them. But incidentally, when the Lukarawa group was now rustling their cattle and demanding for taxes, but that was where they started getting it wrong. But these bandits, sometimes they don't live amongst the people, but once they take over particular areas, they become very deadly moving into that area. For these vigilantes themselves alone to have, attempted going to take them out was really a suicide mission for me. Apparently, there should have been a more synchronized arrangement between the security and then having the vigilante to only give support. I don't know whether the vigilante themselves have enough adequate training to be able to take on these, whether you call them bandits or terrorists, who in most times wield or bear more sophisticated weapons than what the vigilantes are even carrying. It's unfortunate that that incident happened. Of course, they were ambushed or waylaid because the bandits apparently had intel about their coming, and so they didn't allow them to get to them before they took them out. It's really unfortunate.
Right, unfortunate indeed. Now, the governor had ruled out amnesty. Where does that leave any chance for peace in Katsina? Or better yet, is this a welcome move that should be adopted in Katsina at this time?
Well, amnesty, not really amnesty in Katsina. That was not really what worked for them. I think they had a JoJo, the non-kinetic approach, and then I bring to the table, and then a particular region or local governments in Katsina were able to achieve that, and then since then they've been having some measure of peace recorded in that place. We've seen the situation, well, what you just described now as amnesty, that a former governor of Zamfara State at a point in time gave to the bandits. They brought them together and offered them amnesty, and also offered to be paying them some amount of money. But if you recall, that didn't take time to fall, because the government, as at that time, the government before this one, the administration before this one in Zamfara State, could not on their part meet with their own side of the agreement, to really pay those bandits. And so at the end of the day, they had to fall back to the forest again and continued from where they stopped and started unleashing terror on the people of Zamfara State. But bringing that to Plateau State has tried so many measures. They've tried as much as possible to see how they could bring a truce, broker peace or truce between the warring factions, which obviously is known. That is between the farmers and the herders. But that has not yielded, well, the desired peace that the government has really been trying to achieve. But I think the non-kinetic approach, if you have tried the kinetic approach and you are not getting results, the non-kinetic approach is not actually out of place. If it is sincerely done, you talk with these people, whatever you reach out to agree to do on your own part as the government, you ensure that you meet up with that part, and then see that those people meet up with their own part. But I have a solution, for this herders, farmers problem. Well, I don't like giving out solutions on television because both warring parties, are watching. And then when you give out solutions, some will begin to prepare and work against it. Number one, if the Plateau State government is sincere, what they should do is to take head count of all the headers in Plateau State, and then go through the Nimeti Allah to have heads of each. You build what you call like a platoon amongst them, and then recognize the heads of each of those groups, and then let those groups submit the names of all the headers within their reach, and then by so doing you would have a collection of who and who, well, the population of who and who is there as header in Plateau State. That's number one. Number two, find out the owners of those cattle in Plateau State. Who are the people, the Plateau State indigenes, who actually own the cattle that are in Plateau State? And then bring both the owners of the cattle and then the grazers themselves, have a register and record of all of them, and then judge with them, and then get at a lasting solution, and then tell those, particularly the owners of those cattle, that they will be held responsible anytime this war broke out again from the headers, particularly when they had to come from the forest or from wherever they are camping into town to cause mayhem.
All right. Well, I must say thank you so much for taking out the time to join us, Mr. Darlington Omoru. We appreciate you for coming on short notice. Mr. Omoru there giving us a bit of insight following insecurity in Katsina State. The switch gears from Katsina to Oyo State, the capital, Ibadan, where the people continue to mourn the passing of the Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Owolabi, I beg your pardon, Olakunleyin, who passed on Monday at the age of 90. Now, he was crowned as 43rd Olubadan on July 12, 2024 by Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde. Now, the former governor of Oyo State, Rashidi Ladoja, is expected to assume the role as the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan, all things being equal. Victor Mbadike, who is in Ibadan, is at his residence, the Otun Olubadan of Ibadan land, and he brings us up to speed on what to expect, what's the latest. Victor, thanks so much for joining us. What's the latest with you? What's the current mood or state of the residents where you're at, and just the mood of the town at this time?
I did wish you saw the mood here just a few moments ago, where we had drummers, excited, playing drums, playing music to eulogize the Oba, that's Oba Rashidi Ladoja, who, of course, all things being equal, will be crowned the 44th Olubadan of this particular city. It's all excitement. Just before that, we were at the residence of the late Oba Owolabi Olakunle, where we had mourners, visiting, paying the last respect to, of course, to the late Oba. And right here, it's all excitement. That's what you expect. I do have the brother to the Oba Rashidi with me here, Honorable Abiola. Please, Ladoja, please step forward. Exactly. So he's a brother to Oba Rashidi Ladoja, and this is Abiola Ladoja. Tell us very quickly. I know it's all excitement, which is quite understandable. What is the process like, and what do we expect, and when will the Oba now be installed? When is the likelihood of his installation or coronation as the 44th Olubadan of this beautiful city?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Honorable Abiola Ladoja, as I told you, and this is a unique time for Ibadan. This is what our family hope for, that one day one of us will become the Olubadan of Ibadan land. It will come to our turn. So we give glory to God that it is our turn. But the process is this. Yesterday evening, the governor of Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde, broke the news that the former Olubadan passed on, Chief Olakunle, and that makes the next in turn in the Olubadan hierarchy to become Olubadan, and it is, of course, the turn of former Governor Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja to become the Olubadan. But we have a unique way of doing our things in Ibadan. Ibadan people, or shall I say the chieftaincy group will now meet, and then they will decide when to call a meeting. That's the first step. In the meeting, after the meeting, they will give a date when they will meet again to nominate the next in line. And they have a process where they vote and still confirm that the voting is just to confirm that the next in line will be installed as the next Olubadan. And that is what they do. After that process, then they will pick a date for installation and crowning of the Olubadan. Now, but that is after the deceased have been put to rest and all burial ceremony has been concluded. That is when they will go into the meeting of selecting the next Oba or confirming the next Oba, because that is what we do.
All right, Judith, you did hear clearly. They have every reason to be excited because, like he said, it is their turn. And of course, it has to go through a process where the Olubadan Council will have to, have a meeting, and then they, just do that eligibilities for eligibility's sake. After which the governor Seyi Makinde will have to approve their choice, and then in the next coming days, we don't know when exactly, just like he said, before he becomes the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land.
Victor, many thanks for that update. We appreciate you for doing this with us. Victor Mbadike, our correspondent live from Ibadan, they're giving us a bit of update following the death or the passing away of the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan, and also the next in line, which will be the former governor of Oyo State, and that is Rashidi Ladoja, who's
Absolutely.
standing right in front of that residency. We'll go on a short break, shall we? When we return, we switch to politics after the break. Stay with us. Hey, welcome back. And it's off to education, as the federal government has officially pegged the admission year into the nation's tertiary institutions as age 16. This came as the government warned that any admission conducted outside of the Central Admission Processing System, CAPS, would be illegal and perpetrators would be persecuted. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa said this on Tuesday while declaring open the ongoing policy meeting of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, in Abuja. He warned that the heads of institutions found to be engaging in admission fraud would face persecution. Alausa declared that the official age of 16 set by the government is not negotiable. Now, despite the huge shortfall in budgetary allocations over the years, the proliferation of public and private universities has been on the rise for decades. While private universities boast of quality education, public universities, on the other hand, struggle with providing basic learning infrastructure. News Central's Omolola Ololade has more in this report.
The rapid expansion of universities in Nigeria may have increased access to higher education, but at a steep cost, raising concerns about the delivery of affordable and quality education in the country.
I think it's not a bad idea as long as they don't just, abandon projects. They go in with the sincere intentions and the right structure, the right people in administration, and understand that it's a long-term journey to build proper universities.
For private universities to start coming up is to give us a standard education we deserve as a country. But assuming federal government did what they're supposed to do, private universities, I think, is not. They won't encourage people to come in as if it's a good business for them.
I am worried about the rate at which we open universities in this country. Even though I cannot say the number is adequate, but of course, when you look at the quality, it's appalling. What the government should do is to focus on the existing university and improve infrastructure and quality of instructions that are coming out there, quality of research and all that. I think that should be the focus.
While students in private institutions enjoy an unbroken academic calendar and quality teaching, the story in federal institutions is pathetic. Most of these public universities get scant attention from the government as they lack even the basic learning facilities and infrastructure.
To get state-of-the-art infrastructure to run a university is not an easy thing because the kind of physical structure that is needed is huge. Let us look at sport complex for example. To get a sport complex of international standard, it needs a lot of money.
According to data, Nigeria currently has 219 universities with the recent approval of 22 new universities by President Tinubu, despite the Minister of Education's warning to halt the excessive establishment of new universities. The National Universities Commission lists 49 federal universities, 59 state-owned and 111 private universities. Educationists, however, believe that overhauling the country's educational system should start with strengthening the existing universities rather than creating new ones.
Then the second generation universities were motivated by political development. And that was when we began to have problems in university creation. We now move from necessity to politics. So that element of politics can still be seen in the various universities that are created recently. When universities were created out of politics, well, we know what will follow.
The idea for the proliferation of Nigerian universities, particularly private institutions, remains a flawed decision according to educationists, as they believe it does not find a lasting solution to the country's tertiary education problems. In Lagos for News Central, Omolola Ololade.
In preparation for News Central's forthcoming town hall series in Benue State following the recent killings, News Central's crew has visited one of the IDP camps in Makurdi, the state capital, to hear from the people and see how they are faring. We're now joined live by News Central's lead correspondent, Bernard Akede. Bernard, many thanks for joining us. I mean, where are you at the moment and what's the situation of things?
Thank you for having me, Judith. We currently are in one of the IDP camps, like you rightly mentioned, this international market camp. Now, it's so called because this place was actually an international market. It was supposed to be an international market with blocks and buildings. It wasn't fully, it wasn't fully occupied. And then when the killings and the crisis began to happen, the government decided to move some of the people into these places. Before I show you the people here, I want to show you part of the living condition, first of all. And I'll swing to my left here where you can see some big water tanks right there. That's what the people use for sanitation and sanitary materials. You can tell, first of all, or you will be able to tell eventually that this may not be enough because of the numbers of persons we have in this camp, but at least there's provision for that. So they have some sanitary materials. Also, we're able to look into the other direction there, further left, where you can see some people with cooking materials. That's what they cook with, firewood, pots, and other things that they can actually gather around. For those who know what Benue State is, Benue State used to be called food basket of the nation. But sadly, the few people we've spoken to say it's no longer the food basket of the nation because the basic challenge they're having now is that the farmers who used to be known, or Benue State used to be known for farming and farmers, is having issues with people going to the farms. Now, I have a couple of people standing close to me who have been in this IDP camp for a while, and I'll try to speak to some of them so that we can just get perspective of what exactly is going on. Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please tell us your name.
My name is Victoria James.
Okay, Madam Victoria, how long have you been in this camp?
It's getting to 1 month now.
1 month.
Yes.
Okay. And why are you here? What happened that led you to come to this camp?
It's because of the Fulani crisis that they brought us here.
Okay, can you tell us very briefly what happened in which community are you from? What happened in your community that made you come here?
I'm from Yelwata community. The Fulani crisis that they killed masses of people. So the government sent motor to come and pick us and brought us here.
Okay. And before you came here, what was the condition of your living? How were you living? Your house, your farm? What were the things with you?
We are not more going to farm. We are just staying indoors. No more going far away from your house. So because of that, they attacked us.
And since you've come here so far, what's the condition now?
So it's getting better. It's getting better.
Okay.
But mosquitoes are disturbing us. There is no room for us to tie our mosquito net. We are just managing.
And finally, what are the needs? What are the pressing needs that you think the people want now? If there's help that can come, what kind of help do you need?
Like in my side, I will need water, good water, because some of this water they are bringing is not helping. We need good water.
All right. Thank you very much, madam. Judith, I'll take one more gentleman who's also here. Good evening. Please tell us your name.
My name is Samuel Daniel, sir.
Your name is?
Samuel Daniel.
Okay, Samuel Daniel, which community are you from? When did you come here?
I am from Yelwata.
Okay, and how long have you been here for?
I'm here, it's getting to 1 month, sir.
1 month.
Yes.
Okay, Samuel, tell us, how was your living condition before you came here in Yelwata? Were you a farmer? Were you working? Were you married with children? What was going on with you before the crisis, before you came here?
Sir, I am a farmer. So I'm facing so many challenges from there because of this crisis. So we are living there fine, but those people, they come and attack us from that Yelwata community. So we leave that place. Government went and carry us and drop us here. So here, we are not comfortable for this place, but we are managing, sir. So we are facing so many challenges, but they are taking care of us. But somewhere, we are facing the challenges inside.
Okay, just like I asked the other lady, what are your pressing needs at the moment here now?
Like, our needs here is we are needing some foods. We are lacking food here, and some water. We need clean water, and some places to sleep. Mosquito are biting us here.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Judith, I've been told that there's one more lady, an elderly lady, who also wants to speak with us. I'll quickly take her response, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, let me take Mama. Okay, we'll have somebody who would interpret. Please interpret for her, for us.
Okay.
Speak with her. Ask her her name.
Mama Tio Yana.
Iyama esta enyengi.
Esther Yonegi. Na haka hana umo ube hen.
Ka yele wata.
Yelwata. Kan yi uwere ha yelwata.
Ka tomti omoka mweye.
Okay. Na haka nyeve we hen.
Ka gwe na de mvemve hen.
Can you tell us what she's saying?
Mama is saying that her name is Esther, that she comes from Yelwata community. And I asked her what brought her here. She said the crisis, the Fulani crisis brought her here. They burnt down her house and every other thing. And that's why she's here. That she's heartbroken. That she before this time she was living well. So with the condition she is now, she has high BP. She's just somehow, she doesn't know what else to do with life.
Thank you so much. Judith, as we wrap this up, okay, she says she's thanking News Central for this that we're doing. I was saying, Judith, as we wrap this up, this is the case here in this particular IDP camp. And we're told that there are more camps scattered across the state, unfortunately, because of the insecurity that has bedeviled the state in recent times. Again, for me, this is close to heart because I have family here, and they've been explaining to me how Benue used to be, particularly Makurdi, and how it is now, the state is now. So it actually is challenging. But then again, that's the reason why we are here, News Central Town Hall crew. We hope that in the next few days, we will be able to meet with more people, get deeper into the story, and eventually on Thursday, when we bring the town hall to Nigerians and to the rest of the world, we'll have full information at hand and more people who can tell us their stories, so that eventually these stories will get to the ears of the authorities and definitely something decisive can be done about it.
Bernard, many thanks. I appreciate you for that. Bernard Akeda, the lead correspondent with News Central at an IDP camp in the capital of Benue, that's Makurdi, following our News Central's Town Hall series that will happen tomorrow. Let's go on a short break, shall we? This time, I promise, we'll bring you politics. Stay with us. You're welcome back. The Senator, Nadi Usman-led Labour Party, has dismissed speculations that the party was planning to hold a National Executive Council meeting to expel the 2023 presidential candidate of the party, Peter Obi. A former fractional National Publicity Secretary of the party, Abayomi Arabambi, had announced plans on Tuesday to expel Obi from the party. In a statement signed by Ken Eluma Azugo, the senior special advisor to the acting national chairman of the Labour Party, the party described those behind the speculations as a group of political jesters who were unknown to the party. Meanwhile, the former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has once again emphasized the need to shift Nigeria's focus from excessive politicking to the welfare of its most vulnerable citizens. During a private visit to Benin City, Edo State, Obi raised a serious concern over how the poor in Nigeria are being neglected in favor of political maneuvering. Addressing journalists at the terminal, the former Anambra State governor stressed the importance of prioritizing education and healthcare as core developments and instruments for national development.
Make more money from agriculture that will make from oil, feed our people, and that's what we're not doing. Because we're abandoned into politics. I don't want politics. I want to fix Nigeria, make it work for my children and future children of future generations.
Nigeria's effort to reform its public finance system have once again taken center stage as key stakeholders converge in Abuja to chart to chart a new course for accountability and fiscal discipline in the management of public funds. At the core of the conversation are recurring issues of unaccounted expenditures, weak enforcement of financial regulations, and non-compliance by ministries, departments, and agencies. News Central's correspondent Idong Joseph reports.
Nigeria stands at a crucial point in its pursuit of fiscal governance reforms. However, while some progress has been recorded in recent years, it still grapples with full audit gaps, persistent financial leakages, and poor adherence to protocols across MDAs at all levels of government. This is the focus at the National Conference on Public Accounts and Fiscal Governance.
As we gather here today, we are mindful of the complexities and challenges that faces Nigeria in its quest for sustainable development.
We have seen budgets passed without adequate oversight. We have witnessed funds released without measurable outcomes. And we have too often overlooked the voices of citizens in matters that directly affect their livelihoods. But today offers a new page.
A recent audit report from the Auditor General's Office reveals that over 300 billion naira remains unaccounted for across federal MTAs, with more than 60% of them routinely fail to comply with financial regulations. This has led to calls for stronger enforcement mechanisms against corruption and abuse of processes in public financial management.
We must strengthen the Office of the Auditor General with full independence and sufficient resources. We must establish a public finance innovation hub.
Through the implementation of the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan, we are strengthening accountability frameworks, promoting fiscal discipline, and repositioning our institutions to become more citizen-centered and service-driven.
President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Minister of State for Finance, in his address says that the administration has redirected funds saved from fuel subsidy removal into critical sectors of the economy.
Since its removal, we have redirected those funds into targeted interventions, expanding our social safety nets, improving public transportation, and financing critical infrastructure projects. Most importantly, we have strengthened our fiscal buffers, making Nigeria more resilient to external shocks.
The conference also served as a platform for knowledge sharing and renewed commitment to transparency. Lawmakers in attendance pledged to expedite the passage of key fiscal accountability bills currently before the National Assembly. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
A prolonged property dispute in the heart of Abuja's Central Business District has continued to leave tenants of the Minna Court commercial complex in limbo. Despite court orders allowing them access to their business premises, tenants say they are still being denied entry by police officers stationed at the premises. Our correspondent Sumaya Abubakar brings an update on the matter. Take a look.
Now, the building behind me once housed thriving businesses, some for over a decade. But today, it stands as a symbol of economic disruption. The unresolved legal battle between the Minna Court Ventures and AMCON, marked by conflicting rulings and police presence, has left tenants locked and livelihoods at risk.
Since our earlier report, tenants at Minna Court say little has changed. Despite a court order allowing continued access during the legal disputes between Minna Court Ventures and AMCON, police has still refused them entry. Tenants also allege deliberate damage to the property, from removed toilets to turn-up interlocking, all aimed at making the building uninhabitable.
Since Monday, we've been home. I've been working from home, and for a government that promised to protect citizens, for police that promise to protect properties, it is very, very appalling that the same police are here supervising the destruction of this property.
They are already causing destruction to the property. That's trying to make it inhabitable for us. And as we speak, our documents, everything that has to do with our business enterprises inside the building.
Many of the businesses affected have operated from the building for over a decade. Now, they are caught in the middle of a legal battle between AMCON and Minna Court Ventures. With conflicting court orders, the drama has spiraled out of control, making the tenants more confused with no solution in place. Efforts to speak with Barrister Peter Okoli, counsel to Minna Court Ventures, were unsuccessful as he declined to comment, citing the case is still in court.
We are law-abiding citizens. We have been civil in our approach, and we never disrupt, we never cause any trouble. But every time, these touts or these people that will not show their face, they are working behind the scene, using the police, using the instrument of government to cause trouble. And that's what we've been witnessing.
The persistent shutdown, tenants say, is not only crippling their operations, but discouraging legitimate business activities in a key commercial district of the nation's capital.
With no clear resolution in sight, the businesses here remain closed, victims of a legal crisis that continues to raise questions about access to justice and enforcement of court orders. In Abuja, for News Central, Sumaya Abubakar.
Away from the capital and now to the commercial capital of Nigeria, Lagos State, where a tragedy has occurred as a 10-year-old boy was caught in the crossfire of gang violence in Mushin, Lagos State. The heartbreaking death has sparked fresh outrage, with residents accusing the police of negligence and calling for immediate action. News Center's correspondent brings us this report.
The Mushi community is in mourning and in anger. A young boy, just 10 years old, was killed by a stray bullet in a gang clash that once again turned the area into a battlefield. The boy's father, who wept uncontrollably, expressed his pain.
After 7 to 18, so on my way coming, mo rí àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n pọ̀, wọ́n ṣáà ń sọ ọmọ kékeré lọ́mọ yìí, so bí wọ́n ṣe rí mi, wọ́n ṣáà ń jẹ́ àwọn ilé kan pé wọ́n má sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. Èmi náà wá dúró máa ń béèrè pé kí ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀, ṣé wọ́n tún ti ṣe ìyọ̀ léṣe àbí kéde. Nígbà tí màá rí ọmọ mi, ọ̀nà márùn-ún ni ìbọn ti fọ́ sọ́mọ mi lára.
A tearful father spoke about his son, his dreams, and the bond that existed between them.
Ọmọ mi fẹ́ ṣe kọ́ wọlé tàṣí àti sọ̀rọ̀ aṣọ tó fẹ́ wọ̀ fún graduation ẹ̀ là ń plan fún. Iye wàásù pọ̀ ọmọ mi ni màá fi máa sọ̀rọ̀ nu rédíò. Mo mọ ọlọ́mọ lókìkí, ọmọ tó yẹ kó kìkì ẹ̀ máa kàn ní. Ikú ló sókìkí ọmọ mi. Lọ́ fi wá ń wè mí nínú TV. Ìbànújẹ́ ayérayé ni mi ti ẹ̀rọ ti fẹ́ gbé gbà.
Ó jẹ́ ọmọ tó jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn láìkí ẹ̀, ẹbí láìkí, ará láìkí. Kódà mi kò ṣe nǹkan rí tó jẹ́ pé kíní, ó jẹ́ ọmọ tó yẹ pé òun àti bàbá ẹ̀ wọ́n close gan-an. Àfi bí ọ̀rẹ́, àfi bí ọmọ ìyá, àfi bí tẹ̀gbọ́n tàbúrò.
Despite repeated violence, residents say meaningful intervention is yet to come.
It's not the first time and it's not the second time. If I can say, this will be the third time that this has occurred. In a community where there is no peace, where there is violence, that means election will not hold, and even including campaign. Then immediately I call my boys. Oh yeah, let's start a peaceful protest.
Earlier, the Lagos State Police Command had promised to restore order in Mushi.
The Commissioner of Police has directed the immediate deployment of additional tactical teams to this area to ensure that all of these nefarious activities are brought to a stop. He has also ordered the immediate deployment of additional police mobile force personnel, PMF, and other conventional units here.
But for many here, those promises ring hollow. The residents of Mushi are again calling for urgent action, not words, to stop the bloodshed. In Lagos, for News Central, Israel Ifirobo.
At least 11 people have died and over 500 were arrested during an anti-government protest across Kenya on Monday. This is according to the National Police Service. The demonstrations coincided with the 35th anniversary of a historic pro-democracy rally and have drawn widespread participation from disaffected youth. Security forces deployed tear gas and water cannons to disperse crowds, while reports of police brutality have added to public outrage. Rights organizations reported high injury figures than official sources. You're watching News Now on News Central Television. Let's go on a short break. When we return, it's going to be business and sports. Stay with us. And welcome back. The Registrar of the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding Practice in Nigeria, CRFFN, Kingsley Igwe, says the Council will appeal the Lagos High Court judgment that nullified the collection of Practitioners Operating Fee, POF, by the CRFFN from customs clearing agents. The National Council of Managing Directors of Licensed Customs Agents had approached the Lagos High Court so as to stop the collection of the controversial fee, and subsequently Justice D.E. Osiagor ruled that the collection of POF from the customs agents by the CRFFN was illegal, contending that the council only have control over freight forwarders but not customs agents. While addressing the media on Tuesday in Lagos, CRFFN Registrar Igwe said the customs agents are within the sphere of the control of the council and thus are mandated to pay the POF.
The named party in the ruling will not be paying POF in the meantime, pending the appeal. The answer is no, because the appeal never mentioned that they should stop paying POF. It only declared it illegal. It didn't say stop henceforth. So the collection of POF is continuous. And as a matter of fact, this is not against court ruling. I want to be clear on that, because court never said stop collecting. It's two different things, so that people don't misunderstand it that way. We're already almost at the point of submitting the appeal, and we will pass the same submission. We'll put it across in the public space.
Unfortunately, we can't bring you sports, but watch out for sports at the 9 o'clock hour, where the gang will be with you for the sports program in the game. But at this time, that's all we can take at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. In politics, Labour Party faction has dismissed threat to expel the party's presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Peter Obi. And on to the Middle Belt, where ambush by gunmen in Plateau State has reportedly left scores of vigilantes killed in Kanam local government area of the state. And off to Kenya, where 17 counties are on the edge as anti-government protests leave 11 dead and 567 arrested. Now, do remember that you can send us your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number now showing on your screen. Make sure to follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV on all social media platforms. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Go TV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and also live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Judith at TV. Bye for now.